Hey guys, my name is Eric Smith. Welcome to Your Best Interviews. Thanks so much for being here. I know that there's a lot of places you can go. Before I jump into this video, check out the links below. I have a free interview prep test kit. I have an entire course, 3 courses really, on the interview process or different aspects of the interview process, whether that's the resume, maybe that's the entire interview process that you want help with, or salary negotiations. So check all of that out. What I want to talk about today are just the top 3 things to think about when negotiating for your compensation, or if you know that compensation is coming up as part of your interview process, you're not sure how to talk about it. The top 3 pieces of advice that I can give you is number 1, negotiate for your compensation. 50% of people do not negotiate. They accept that first offer, which means they leave money on the table. And so absolutely you should negotiate for your compensation. Even if you don't end up getting what you want, you should still always ask, because asking tends to get you more. Number 2, you have to do your homework. So in order to negotiate your compensation, you have to have a good idea of where you sit in terms of the market value for your experience and your current skill set. So be very realistic about this, but do your homework. Look on Glassdoor, look on other job boards, Indeed, ZipRecruiter. All of them list compensation for a lot of the titles of the jobs that you're applying to. So look all of that up. You can also go to salary.com. There's a lot of places that you can find compensation data, but you need to be very realistic about your skill set, where you sit, and then look up what compensation should be for the role that you're applying for. All of that information should empower you to be able to negotiate, but if you don't do your homework, you can't negotiate, or worse, you're going to end up throwing out a number, a counter number to what they offer you that's well beyond what is realistic, and they're not going to see you as a real candidate. So you need to make sure that you've done your homework and then negotiate. And then number 3, keep in mind that it's not all salary. So this is the number 1 thing that I coach people on, is it doesn't always have to just be more money. Some companies don't have flexibility, right? And so compensation might not be one of those things where they have flexibility. Now, I will say this. Most companies, when they make an offer, they have an approved salary range beforehand. They know exactly what they can pay from the low end to the high end. And what they typically do from a strategy standpoint is they will offer that mid to lower end because it gives them room to negotiate, right? If they come in at the very top where they've been approved to actually hire for that role, they have nothing that they can negotiate for. And so when they make those offers, they're typically offering middle to slightly below the middle of the range so that they have some room to negotiate. So by not negotiating, you're leaving that low to middle all the way to the high. You're leaving that entire area off the table for yourself. So make sure you're negotiating, make sure you're doing your homework, but then also just remember, it's not all about compensation. So if you're applying to a job where there is no flexibility in terms of what they can offer you in terms of more money, then think about all the other areas. Maybe it's flex work. Maybe you want to work from home. Maybe you want to work from home part of the time. Maybe it's vacation days. Maybe it's benefits that come along, health benefits. Maybe it's gym membership. All these different things are on the table that you can negotiate for and are part of the offer process. So don't forget about those. Make sure you're taking everything into account, the entire package that you're being offered, and then think about what are the things that are important to you that you really want. And maybe those are part of your negotiating strategies if compensation is one of those areas that they can't move on. So those are my top 3. There's a ton that goes into negotiating, but it really all comes down to, number 1, you have to negotiate for yourself because no one else is going to do it. And 50% of people don't, and they leave all that money on the table. So negotiate. Chances are you're going to end up walking away with more money than what was originally offered. Number 2, make sure that you've done your homework. You can't negotiate if you don't know where you sit. And number 3, it's not all about compensation. There's a lot of different areas that you have flexibility and can negotiate and advocate for yourself. So take a look at that, write all those things down, and make sure you are arming yourself with that when you go into that compensation discussion. Guys, hopefully this was helpful. Again, check out everything below. Hit subscribe. I drop 2 videos every week, Monday and Wednesday. And then comment. If there's things that you want more information on, absolutely comment. But guys, compensation is a whole world. I have an entire course on this. So if you're curious more, check out the course. It goes a little bit more in depth with all these topics. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you.